Married AT16. Episode 1. Mia was watching her favorite series when her mother, Miriam, came to her with a bright smile, looking like a movie star. Married AT16. Episode 2. As they finished breakfast, Mia's mom handed her a packed lunch with a gentle reminder. Be strong, sweetie, and don't let anyone bring you down. Focus on your studies and your faith. You got this. And remember, no boyfriends until you're at least 25, okay? Mia smiled, feeling a sense of determination. She knew her mom was working hard to provide for her, and she was grateful that all she needed to do was make her mother proud. As they walked to school, Mia's mom gave her a warm hug and a kiss on the cheek. I love you, Mia. Have a great day. Mia watched as her mom walked away, feeling a mix of emotions. She took a deep breath, squared her shoulders, and entered the school, ready to face whatever the day would bring. As she walked into the hallway, she spotted Luna waiting for her by her locker. Hey girl, how is it going? Luna asked her, a bright smile, a welcome distraction from Mia's earlier worries. I'm sorry, I didn't tell Jaden has a girlfriend.
As Jaden and Camilla passed by, Mia couldn't help but notice the way Jaden's eyes met Camilla's briefly. Nervousness stirred in her chest, but she quickly pushed the feeling aside. Luna, sensing Mia's gaze, turned to look at the couple. Her expression was unreadable. Wow, Jaden's really committed, huh? She remarked, her tone neutral. No boyfriend, Luna reminded her, recalling the strict rule from Mia's mom. That staring was just too much for one day. Mia cleared her throat, trying to play it cool. It's not my business, she said. Let's go to class. Luna nodded in agreement, and the two friends walked down to the classroom. While Luna discussed her favorite TV shows, Mia couldn't shake off the feeling that Jaden's presence stirred something inside her every time she came across him. As they walked to their next class, Mia caught Jaden glancing at her, this time with a hint of a smile. She quickly looked away, her heart racing. Determined to keep her promise to her mom and focus on her studies, she found it increasingly difficult with Jaden always appearing around her. During their free time, Mia decided to go to the library, while Luna went to the auditorium where a music performance was taking place. Mia was in the library reading when a guy approached her. Mia glanced at him, surprised. Hey, Mia, aren't you going to the auditorium? The guy said. My name is Jack. He stretched his hand for a handshake. Your classmate. Mia shook his hand with a smile on her face. I'm not going to the auditorium, I have a lot to catch up on. What about you? Well, I just need a quiet time and the library is a good place for that. Can I help you out? He offered. Mia smiled. I can help you out if you need it. I'm pretty good at math and science. Mia's eyes lit up with interest. Really? That would be amazing. Thank you. I'm struggling a bit with calculus. Jack smiles, pulling out his own books and notes. No problem. Happy to help. Let's get started. As they began to study together, Mia felt grateful for Jack's assistance. He was easy to talk to, and his explanations made complex concepts seem simple. She found herself laughing and joking with him, feeling more at ease with each passing minute. Maybe, just maybe, this chance encounter would turn out to be exactly what she needed, a distraction from Jaden and a new friend to help her concentrate more on her studies. As Mia and Jack studied, they quickly discovered they had a lot in common. Both of them were focused on their studies and passionate about learning. Jack was impressed by Mia's determination to get good grades and make her mother proud, while Mia admired Jack's zeal for studying hard. Their study session was productive, and Mia truly appreciated Jack's help. She realized she had been so caught up in her own thoughts that she hadn't noticed the friendly guy sitting across from her in class. Jack seemed to be a great distraction from her crush on Jaden. Just as they were wrapping up, Jack asked Mia if she wanted to study together again sometime. And you missed out, Luna said, smiling sheepishly. And I'm not interested, Mia insisted. Jaden and Camilla shared a romantic kiss, and it was perfect. The play was beautiful, and Jaden's voice was so good and soothing. Luna narrated, but Mia acted as if she were uninterested in the conversation. I had a great time with Jack. It was nice. We learned a lot, Mia replied to keep Luna shut. As Mia prepared to get home, she turned to Luna and asked, Are you coming? Luna hesitated, a sly smile spreading across her face. No, I'm waiting for someone. He said I should wait for him here. Mia asked in curiosity, raising an eyebrow. Luna smiled sheepishly. Yeah, I'll give you all the gist tomorrow. He's in the same class as Jaden, and let's just say, he's pretty sweet and handsome too. Mia smiled. Just be careful, okay? I'll see you tomorrow. They said their final wave, hand waving, and Mia headed home. On her way, the cloud with rain poured down heavily, and it was very heavy. So, she had to walk faster than normal, and suddenly, a car pulled up beside her, and the window rolled down to reveal Jaden's handsome features. Hey, get in, he called out, his voice low and smooth. Mia's heart skipped a beat as she locked eyes with Jaden. For a moment she forgot about the rain cloud with rain, forgot about everything, except the way her pulse was racing. Come in, Jaden repeated, his voice a little bit louder. Mia hesitated for a moment, her eyes locked on Jaden's. She could see the concern etched on his face, but her mind was still reeling from the relationship between him and Camilla. No, thank you, she said loudly, trying to brush off the offer. But Jaden's persistence won her over. Come on, get in, he called out, his voice loud above the rain. Despite her initial hesitation, the rain was getting heavier, and she didn't want to get soaked to the bone. Okay, thanks, she said finally, opening the door and sliding into the warm car. Jaden smiled, his eyes crinkling at the corners. Mia settled into the passenger seat, she felt better. The car was warm and cozy, and Jaden's presence seemed to fill the entire space. She tried to calm herself down, reminding herself that she was just getting a ride home, but her heart refused to listen. Where are you headed? Jaden asked, his eyes on the road as he pulled away. Mia gave him her address, and they drove in silence for a moment. Jaden turned on the radio, and soft music filled the car, easing the tension. He sang calmly to the music, his voice smooth and melodious. As they drove, Mia couldn't help but steal glances at Jaden. He seemed different in the car, more relaxed and approachable. She noticed the way his hair curled slightly at the nape of his neck and the way his eyes sparkled when he smiled. So, how's your day been? Jaden asked, breaking the silence between them. It's been okay, I guess. Just want to get home and take off these soaked clothes, Mia replied with a smile. Jaden laughed. Yeah, this rain is crazy. I'm glad I could give you a ride. As they approached Mia's house, she felt a pang of disappointment. She didn't want the ride to end and didn't want to leave the warmth and safety of the car. But Jaden pulled up to her house, and she knew it was time to say goodbye. Thanks for the ride, she said, smiling at him. I really appreciate it. Jaden smiled back, his eyes locking onto hers. No problem, Mia, get some rest, okay? Just then, his phone rang, and he glanced at the screen. Camilla, he waved at Mia, and immediately picked up the call. Mia nodded, feeling a flutter in her chest. She grabbed her bag and opened the door, stepping out into the rain. As she walked into the house home, she felt her heartbeat for him, despite knowing he had a girlfriend and her mom's warnings. She took a deep breath and headed inside. She saw a letter from her mom saying she'd not be home tonight, and Mia wasn't pleased. She missed her mom's presence, and the thought of being alone with her thoughts was unsettling. Just then, an idea struck her. What if Jaden kept her company for a while? She quickly changed into something nice, her heart racing with excitement. Despite the rain pouring heavily outside, she ran to Jaden's car, hoping he'd still be there. Fortunately, he was, and she rushed to him, her heart pounding in her chest. As Mia approached Jaden's car, she saw him still talking on the phone. She hesitated for a moment, wondering if she should interrupt him. But Jaden caught her eye and smiled, gesturing for her to get in. Mia slid into the front seat, feeling a sense of relief washed over her. The rain pounded against the roof of the car, creating a cozy atmosphere. Once Jaden wrapped up his conversation with Camilla, he turned to her. Hey, what's up? He asked, his eyes sparkling with curiosity. Mia smiled, feeling a wave of nervousness. I was wondering if you could come in and keep me company for a bit, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. Jaden raised an eyebrow, but a smile played on his lips. Sure, I'd love to, he replied, turning off the engine and following Mia into her house. Although Mia's house was not as large as Jaden's mansion, he still appreciated it. This place is cool, he said. Whoa, Mia exclaimed, I heard you live in a mansion, I thought you were just being sarcastic. Jaden smiled, not really, I mean it. He replied. They sat on the couch in silence, and Mia felt a sense of comfort. The rain created a soothing background noise, and Jaden's presence seemed to calm her nerves. So, why do you keep staring at me in school? Jaden asked. Mia wasn't expecting such a question from him. She tried to brush it off, but Jaden insisted she should spill it out. My friend told me a lot about you, and I found you more attractive, Mia replied. Really? Jaden said, intrigued. They chatted for a while, and their conversation flowed easily. Mia found herself laughing and feeling more at ease with Jaden than she had expected. As the rain continued to pour, Mia turned to him and asked, "Do you want a cup of coffee?" "I wouldn't mind," Jaden replied. Mia hurried to the kitchen and made 2 cups of coffee. They sat together and watched a powerful Christian movie. As they sat together on the couch, Mia felt a sense of closeness with Jaden. She leaned her head on his shoulder, and he wrapped his arm around her, holding her close. The movie played on, but Mia's attention was drawn to Jaden. She focused more on Jaden. A few moments later, Mia's heart skipped a beat as she turned her face up to Jaden's. Their eyes met, and she felt a spark of attraction. Without thinking, she leaned in, her lips brushing against Jaden's. The K-throwing kisses ISS was soft and gentle, but it sent shivers down Mia's spine. Jaden's lips responded, deepening the key-throwing kisses SS, and she felt herself getting lost in the moment. Just as things were getting intense, a heavy knock at the door distracted them. Mia pulled back, her heart racing as Jaden's eyes locked onto hers, filled with surprise and desire. Who could that be? Mia wondered aloud as she got up to answer the door. But before she could reach the door, her mom's voice boomed through the door. "Mia, open up. It's me, Mama." Mia's eyes widened in panic as she quickly cleared the table and pushed Jaden into her room. "Please, don't come out," she whispered urgently, her eyes pleading with Jaden. "But I have to leave," Jaden replied. "No, my mom can't see you," Mia insisted, her voice barely above a whisper. "Why?" Jaden asked, confusion etched on his face. Mia didn't have time to explain. Her mom's voice grew louder, more insistent. "Mia, please open the door. I had a long day. Mia, open up." Jaden's eyes widened in disbelief at Mia's frantic behavior. Mia didn't hesitate. She took Jaden to her room, saying, "I'll be back soon." She locked the door behind her and rushed to answer the door, pretending she had just been sleeping. "Mama," she exclaimed, hugging her mother tightly. "I thought you wouldn't be back until morning." Miriam smiled, her eyes scanning Mia's face. "I decided to come home because I knew you wouldn't be happy with me," she said, her voice softening. Mia's eyes lit up with understanding. "Mom, I understand. I know you're working hard for me, and I'm grateful. I'll never be angry with you." Miriam's expression turned serious. "Are you sure?" she asked. Mia nodded vigorously. "Yes, Mama," she said, smiling widely. "So, do you want me to go back?" Miriam asked, a hint of amusement in her voice. Mia's laughter was instant. "No, Mama, I'm just saying." They both burst into laughter. As Miriam walked into the kitchen, her eyes landed on 2 used coffee cups on the table. Her expression changed, her eyebrows arching in surprise. Mia, did you bring someone home?" she asked, her voice carrying a hint of curiosity and concern. Mia's heart skipped.